Today I'm standing on top of a tank platform, as you can see. I wanted to get a panoramic view of the city of Nairobi. Behind me you can see some of the skyscrapers of the city, the airport. Just behind me a plane is taking off. So it's a beautiful view of the city, and I want to talk about our life in this city. Today I want to talk about something different, not about alcohol and drugs like most of you know me. In my other profession, I deal with public health matters, and that's what I want to talk about in a broader sense away from drugs. I want to talk about habits that we Nairobians or Kenyans engage in, which may be detrimental to our public health. You've seen walking around the city, driving, you see people, particularly men, just take a detour from their path and they start urinating or relieving themselves in the open, behind some rock, behind a wall, a bush. And this is not far from a path people are passing. Sometimes children are going to school, coming from school. And this person just seems oblivious of what they're doing, and some of them even expose their nakedness. And you wonder, like, hey, what is happening? Are we losing our sense of humanity and just being like animals, or what is the problem? That's what I want to talk about today. That there are little things you can do in your life which can make the health of everyone, including yourself, better, and some of them make the health not good. And so this passing of water, urinating in public, which is very common in urban areas, what is the problem with it? From a public health point of view, a number of problems I'll talk about. First, that you are likely to spread diseases because of this behavior. We know diseases that can be spread by urination of urine. In our high school biology, we probably heard of diseases like bilharzia. You pass urine after rainfall, that urine is washed down to the stream, to the water catchment areas, and this can introduce some germs. Most of us Nairobians depend on borehole water, and borehole water generally is groundwater that seeps to be underground water, and then it is drilled and pumped into our tanks and our taps. So if there is a germ on the surface of the earth, on the ground, it will find its way into underground water at some point, and this can cause diseases. That's one public health hazard of this behavior. Then we have another hazard I would like to talk about our social well-being, about our morals, about the image we are passing to our little children and those who come after us. If you're going to expose yourself in a public place and just relieve like you don't care, this is communicating a bad message to young people, to our children, that it is good to just do that when you feel like you can undress, you can expose yourself, and just do what you want. And this is not right. This is morally wrong. This is a bad example we are showing to our young people, our children, and generally it does not bring up a society, a community that is well formed in terms of morals and good behavior. So at a personal level, you and I can start changing, and I'll talk with emphasis directed towards men particularly, because this behavior we see it mainly with men. You wonder, where do the women relieve themselves? Or do they never get pressed? They do. But where do they relieve themselves? They find a way, they find a place that is private, is decent, is okay for that. And we, the men, can copy from the good ladies of this country so that we do not behave like animals in this regard, because really this is what we do sometimes. And Dr. BMS is saying it's not good for our health, it's not good for our morals, it's not good for the development of the younger generation who are looking up to us. Something else in this regard, and I direct this to authorities, government, the county government of Nairobi, the national government, and other county governments. Some of this behavior is also because spaces, places for convenience, for people to relieve themselves are very few in this city. And they are not well spread out, so that if you are pressed, you can know that if I walk another kilometer, a few miles up the road, I'll get a place. So this is a challenge to our leaders, from the lawmakers to the administrators in government. It is possible to build public toilets, public convenience places where people can go, and Kenyans generally can pay for this. I've seen a few places, like in the middle of the city center, public toilet has been built, and I want to commend our city, county government and other county governments in towns. People go there and you pay 10 shillings, you get a service. Kenyans are willing to pay for this, okay? So there's no reason why the government should not have these facilities put in place, because the payoff is there. The returns on the investment are there, in terms of finances being paid back, in terms of our health, in terms of our morals and development of our children. So the payoff is good, and it is there. Also, the private sector. This is an area of investment. If someone can come and put convenience places in strategic locations in the city, then that is a source of income, because Kenyans will pay for these things as they use them, and it will be a win-win for everyone. I've also observed, when you travel out of the city of Nairobi or other major towns and you're on a highway, sometimes you're pressed and you don't know where to go. You have to drive for long distances before you reach a shopping center, and even when you reach that shopping center, there's no place. You have to go ask, where can I help myself from a private house or business premise, or you have to go into a pub for you to access such facilities. If the government, the Ministry of Transport, our Highway Authority, KENHA, NTSA, if they could partner up with private enterprise or even just government to put up places of convenience, so that people who are traveling can know that every 5 miles, for example, there's a convenience place. I can stop, I can relieve myself, probably I can sit and eat a snack if I've carried something, or there's even a little kiosk. I've had the good fortune to travel sometimes, and I'm mesmerized by what I see in some countries. You're traveling on the highways in the US, and there is a sign that is telling you a convenience place, a rest area 1 kilometer ahead. So you know that they are there, and you can prepare for them, and you go there, you relieve yourself, you rest a bit. If you have been driving for a long period of time and you worried, maybe you are getting sleepy or tired, you can rest, then proceed. The places are secured. The security police officers are there, so it is good. You feel that you are taken care of. I would wish that we have this in our country, and sometimes I have wondered, our leaders travel. You know, we hear MCAs, parliamentarians, senators, even our president, they are traveling abroad every other time. So the question is, when you go there, also look at the best practices in these countries and just bring them home, so that these little things can build up a quantum, a momentum that can really make Kenya be a good country to live. So, like our present governor of Nairobi, Mheshimiwa Sakaja, your mantra was, let Nairobi work. Dr. BMS is giving you one of the ways to make Nairobi work. Build convenience places, pass bylaws, and enforce them so that people who do not use these facilities when they are there, they are arrested, they are charged, and we can have a cleaner city. We can have people moving around in comfort, not fearing if you have children that you are going to turn around a corner and you find a man expressing himself, urinating, and you don't know what to do. In the same light, talking about our practices, our behaviors that impact on our health as a nation, I have observed a second thing I would like to talk about, and this is to do with motoring. Oftentimes, you observe on our roads in the estates, usually the weekends or the evenings, a parent is going to a supermarket or going to church on Sunday, or just driving around the estate with the family, and here you have a parent with a young child sitting on their lap, and the parent is driving. So this child, probably 2 years, 3 years, is holding the steering wheel of the car, and the parent is proudly holding the steering wheel. The child is on the lap, and they're happy showing this child how to drive, giving him the experience. They have entered a major road, it's a weekend, so they feel they are driving slowly, and it's a Sunday, they are going to church. This is wrong, and these are practices that we would need to discourage if we are going to have a better health for ourselves as a nation. First and foremost, it's against the law. A child who is under the age of 18, which is our age for driving, should not drive a car. A child may sit on a driver's seat, maybe to take a photo in a parking lot, but a car is moving and a child is on a driving seat. No, that's against the law. And even if you are there holding the steering seat and controlling, you're passing a message to this child that they can actually do it. I made a video earlier where I said it is not proper to let children start doing things before their time. Why are you rushing? There's enough time. This child will learn and drive, will own more bigger cars than you if you just let them grow. But if you rush them, then you cause problems. You are creating a mentality in this child that they are adult when they are not. Again, just the fact that they are underage, they are not able to control that car well, and if they are these adventurous children, one day they just take that key, go, start the car, and drive the way they have been doing with their daddy and their mommy, and there an accident happens. So parents, again, these small practices that we do in our daily lives have a big impact on our health, the health of our children, and the well-being of our society. My message then is that let us, in our small way, contribute one little thing of good behavior in public health arena, in our mannerisms, in the way we bring up our children, and they will add up collectively to a better, healthier society for us all.